Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. This is Chris with potstocks.com and it's February 7th. We'll be announcing some really cool and useful new features this month, so make sure to subscribe to our newsletter and to our channel. Overall, the sector was mixed this week with a lot of red early in the week, but some good recovery toward Friday, and generally just a mixed bag of winners and losers. Some winners this week include NRTI up 76% on Tuesday, ITNS up 60% over Monday and Tuesday, MDBX closed the week strong with a 60% jump on Friday, and GWPH had a big buy opportunity on Wednesday, bouncing off 71.15 back up to 75.42 the very next day. Some losers this week include MDBX, which continued to sink after getting hammered with news of the ongoing class action lawsuit. It lost more than 35% of its value on Friday alone. CBDS also got crushed on relatively low volume, and CNAB's bullish run broke at $1.94 this week, closing at $1.54 on Friday. In stock news this week, AMMJ announced an Illinois client has been granted 2 cultivation and processing licenses. For those unfamiliar with AMMJ, they're primarily a consulting company that I think can almost be described as a type of business development company for cannabis businesses. The fact that they are working with just one of like a few dozen licensed dispensaries in the state is definitely good news. AERO to announce third quarter financial results on Tuesday, February 17th after market hours. If you want in on that announcement, follow the AeroGrow link below the webcast. I suspect these will be positive. If you're releasing bad news, you tend to do it at the end of the week, not on the front of it. EAPH announced sales numbers for December, highlighting a 62% revenue increase for vaporizer sales from their eSig Markets platform. ERBB vending machines launched in Seattle this week. For those curious, the first sale went to the cannabis strain known as Girl Scout cookies. CannaGrow Holdings announced an update on their Colorado Buffalo Ranch project. They purchased the first of 2 3,300 square foot greenhouses and an agreement to power it with local utility. If you want to see plans for their project, go check out their website at cannagrowholdings.com. MedBox announced it's securing additional funding from private investors as well as from independent board members. The securities sold in these private placements were not registered. What this means is that at some point when the investors want to collect, there will be some surprise new shares in the future. So this is basically a defensive move by MedBox. I imagine the goal is to fund operations until the storm of the class action lawsuits passed, and hope that whatever the ruling or the settlement is there just doesn't cripple them. It could present a buying opportunity for investors depending on how far it dips, but it's just too speculative to say at this point. Entertopia announced this week that it plans to produce and sell CBD products sourced from industrial hemp within the United States. The company is still seeking its Health Canada MMPR license producer status. Also some shuffling on their board of directors, with their current director stepping down. Entertopia's shares are traded in Canada with the symbol TOP and in the United States with the symbol ENRT. NutriCorp is moving into more inhalation-based nutraceuticals. The concept is to deliver vitamins and supplements via vaporizer. It's an idea that's been sort of circulating around some of the public companies for the last year or so, and you'll probably see at least a few other companies do something similar soon. It's the same concept behind VitaSig and a couple other vaporizer companies. The IPO for Massroots is still pushing forward, despite major setback in Apple removing it from the App Store. There's no hard and fast rule about what is and is not permitted in the App Store, but Apple isn't taking any risks that the Fed could crack down on the social network and those hosting it. In the meantime, Massroots continues to grow, setting a target to achieve 1 million followers in the near future. In legalization news, big news this week in Illinois. The state issued medical marijuana business licenses to 52 dispensaries and 18 cultivation centers. You can check out a list of the winners in our links below. In Oregon, it's now officially legal to grow hemp so long as you have a permit. Lawmakers approved hemp farming in 2009, but it took until this week before their Department of Agriculture began accepting applications. At the same time, Washington State Senate also voted unanimously to make hemp farming legal. The measure now goes to the State House. The measure is actually interesting because it's less restrictive of hemp than Oregon's bill, which requires a permit. This is definitely a turnaround for Washington, which has been plagued by a pretty bumpy rollout for legal cannabis. The United States Surgeon General Vivek Murthy told CBS News this week that there is data that indicates marijuana can be helpful to multiple medical conditions and that he wants science to drive policymaking. This is a huge departure from the Attorney General nominee's opinion we covered last week. It's definitely a good sign, though federal legalization is likely still a long ways off. Germany announced plans to make medical cannabis more widely available to German citizens. At present, less than 300 Germans are authorized to purchase marijuana in pharmacies, and of those, almost all are suffering from terminal cancer. The Pennsylvania Medical Marijuana Bill SB 3 was introduced this week, but it excludes smoking and vaporization as delivery methods. A hearing for the state's medical marijuana bill has been scheduled for February 25th in Harrisburg. Alright, moving on to charts. Last week we anticipated good movement from ITNS and GRCU. GRCU reversed course, but ITNS saw about a 70% gain from the start of the week into Tuesday and still closed about 30% above Monday's open. Congrats to those who rode that up, and go check out our Ultimate Investor's Guide to learn more about trading on charts and patterns. Or if you just want our analysis, just subscribe to our newsletter and come visit us every Saturday night. So for next week, most of our watch list is still in a downtrend, but we did find a few that we like. ATTBF looks like it's still got plenty of room to run next week. It started an uptrend this week and finished the week relatively strong with a lot of positive price action. MCIG ended the week strong, and lower price action has really been tightening up for the last 2 weeks, so I think MCIG is likely on its way up. TRTC is approaching its 52-week low, and that could be a buying opportunity. Their chart is still trending down, so it's definitely a gamble, but it could be worth watching. Look at like a midweek strike point and see how it tests 21 cents. Again, congrats to everybody who's been following and making money, and thanks to our followers for keeping us updated on your favorites. If you see a strong chart or some news that we just don't catch, please let us know on Twitter or Facebook. So we want to close this week by encouraging you to take a look at a stock you might not have heard of before. Heliospectra, traded under the symbol HLSPY. You don't hear a lot about these guys, but they look like they're quietly building like a really interesting company with some viable products. They're also one of 3 companies in the Association of Responsible Cannabis Public Companies, along with CNAB and AMMJ. And that's it for this week. Thanks for joining us, and pay close attention over the next few weeks. We'll guarantee you won't want to miss what we've got cooked up for you, so stay tuned. Have a great weekend and stay in the green.